All right, for those of you who don't have the pleasure of knowing me, my name is Brian Schimming. I'm the state chairman of the Republican Party. It's B-R-I-A-N. Last name is spelled S-C-H-I-M-M-I-N-G. And to my right is John Leiber, the state treasurer of Wisconsin, who was elected in 2022. And so I welcome him here as well. This week is about unity. As I said before, the plain truth of the matter here is that the Democrats are a party in disarray. They're a party in panic right now. To be in a situation with a 4-year incumbent Democrat president who has clearly lost the confidence of his own party, of his own party's leaders, of his own voters, will historically go down. They'll be writing books about it. It's so bad. By contrast, the Republicans are in Milwaukee today, unified behind Donald Trump, and frankly, with all the choices he has for vice president, will be unified behind anybody that he brings up as a vice presidential candidate. I really believe that. So we are really in a place historically that is amazing for the Republican Party and for this ticket and for Donald Trump. We are all praying for the victims of what happened at the Trump rally a couple of days ago. And I will say, as I said before, I don't care which party, which movement, whatever, to have that happen at a presidential rally like that is just, we can't have that in America. And so we're all praying for the victims, and I have encouraged people. The Trump campaign has put together a GoFundMe for the victims, and of course, some of that is still going on. We still have people in the hospital. So all of our prayers are towards them, those victims in the situation there. But we come to Milwaukee, I will say two things. This will be a convention of unity, number one, and unity of purpose. And number two, I get a lot of questions about the security situation in Milwaukee because of what happened. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right now, is the safest place on the face of the planet. We have hundreds and hundreds, thousands, actually, of law enforcement personnel from all over the country in downtown Milwaukee to make sure that our delegates, our alternates, our candidates, our guests, our visitors are safe. And that is a priority. And I'm a homer. I'm from Wisconsin. I am damn proud of the fact that this convention is in Milwaukee. I truly am. I've had an office on and off in this city for years. And so I'm excited because I am a homer, but I'm also excited because this is a historic moment. We've never had a convention here in Milwaukee, a Republican convention. And so my goal is for this party and this movement to show the world that we want to make America great again. And the way to do that is to elect Donald Trump and elect the Republican ticket. John, State Treasurer, any comments from you?
Sure. Yeah, I have an opportunity to talk to a lot of Republicans and also Democrats when I'm in Madison, and it really is amazing the difference in enthusiasm between Republicans. I haven't met a single Republican who's out there not excited about this upcoming election. They are energized. They are just waiting till they get a chance to vote. And when I talk to Democrats, they're kind of resigned. They don't really want to vote for their candidate. They might do it out of duty. Some might stay home. But they just don't have the same energy because they don't have anything to vote for. And that's the real difference here. Republicans are actually going out and voting for a candidate they like. And Democrats don't have that opportunity.
And that's such an important point. We've seen the polling, Marquette and other polls as well, in Wisconsin and around the country, the enthusiasm gap for Donald Trump versus Joe Biden is 22 points. 22 points. That is, and even Democrat strategists are out there right now talking about that and how that is a major factor in people voting early, in people voting on election day, in people being involved like they are here. It's a massive, massive factor. And Joe Biden, in spite of tens of millions of dollars of spending by him and third-party groups, can't get his own base jacked up to support him. I want you to think about that. The sitting Democrat incumbent cannot get his own base behind him against somebody they have spent years vilifying in Donald Trump. I mean, just think about what's happened in the last several years and take the kind of 30,000-foot view, right? And the Democrats are in serious, serious trouble. And Republicans, not only all across America, but in Wisconsin and every target state, are on offense. I got a few minutes for questions, if folks have any questions.
Brian, have you talked to the former president? We know he arrived late last evening, and there's a lot speculating that he's going to take the convention stage in some fashion today. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I have not talked. I'm sorry. I haven't talked to President Trump. He is in Milwaukee. He came into Milwaukee late yesterday. I will tell you, in terms of the convention schedule itself, the convention schedule has not changed. The convention schedule that you've seen out there right now is the same. I had this exact conversation with Chairman Wadley before my press conference yesterday. The convention schedule is the same. We are confident in the security situation here in downtown Milwaukee and across southeast Wisconsin. So as we pray and mourn the death of our folks in Pennsylvania, we are also, as we look forward to this week, look forward to a week where Republicans have come together and have been unified and are going to go through this convention in the way that we planned to do it.
Mike. Tonight, and if he does, when could that happen?
I don't know if he's going to speak tonight. I don't know that. I can honestly say I don't know.
Chair, what are your expectations when he does ultimately sort of reemerge after the assassination attempt? He's rewriting his speech, and there's some speculation that tone could be different. I'm wondering what your expectations are when he comes out for the first time.
I think the president will be reflective on what has happened here in the last couple of days, and will certainly use that unfortunate occurrence to call people to a common place. And so I fully expect the president to address that, but also to make sure that the whole country hears him saying that not only that kind of thing is wrong, but this is a point where you can unify the country. A rare moment when something tragic like this happens, and you can unify the country.
Chairman.
Yes.
You're a delegate. Are there any conversations amongst fellow delegates about the platform, anything you'd like to see changed? Any specifics of some, give a sense of what you're talking about that would be top of mind for you?
So I was actually on the platform committee as well, and there was a lot of talk among the delegates about what they'd like to be in it, what they'd like to change in it. But the message was this was a platform to win an election. This is a platform of what the president stands for. This is what he wants to go out there and talk about and show to people what he wants to do in his next term.
Any pushback in particular on any issues?
I mean, there were some issues people had debates about, but I think some of the objections were more about the process and how it went through. Most people said, I like what's in here, I just wish I had a little more time to talk about it. But, I mean, that's going to happen no matter how long things stretch out. Somebody always wants to have a little more time. So I think we're pretty unified on what this platform is and who we're nominating this convention. And I think that's the real stark contrast between the Republican Party and the Democrat Party right now.
Chairman, a quick question for you. Moments ago, Donald Trump's classified documents case was dismissed in Florida. I'm curious what your reaction is to that, and if there are any takeaways from that legal proceeding you think he should bring with him to a second term if he is reelected.
Yeah, I was just, in fact, told that Judge Eileen Cannon had dismissed that case. It's a case that never should have been brought. It's a case that should have been brought, unfortunately, and I think that's why it was dismissed. That's number one. Number two, and the larger issue on Donald Trump with this. There has been, when the history book is written on the lawfare that has been used against a political opponent, in this case Donald Trump, by the Biden administration and by third-party groups and by others, it's going to be a book that's never been written before in history. So to me, it's the larger issue of going after Donald Trump generally, and they have unfortunately weaponized a lot of tools that should not have been weaponized, and I think the ruling today that you referred to is an example of that.
Mr. Chairman, do you know when delegates will vote on the vice presidential nomination? I know, could it happen before Wednesday potentially?
I honestly don't know the answer to that question. Wish I knew.
Two more questions.
Ryan, we were talking about unity on the Dems in disarray, but in terms of unity, during the primary in Wisconsin, around 20% voted for candidates other than Trump. Do you expect those folks to have come around by now or after the convention?
Every poll I see shows that Donald Trump has 95th percentile of support amongst Republicans across the country. So we're going to be in a unified situation for this election. And I would underscore also, Governor DeSantis and Ambassador Haley will both be speaking at this convention. So I'll tell you, as I think we both travel the state, it's as unified as I have ever seen it. And I've been traveling this state for 35 years.
Speaker Gingrich made a joke about Madison, and it got quite a reaction from the room. What is it about Madison that Republicans found so funny today?
Well, I'm a Republican from Madison, and I grew up right next to Camp Randall. And even I thought it was funny, okay? So I will say this. Obviously, Madison, 75% or whatever it is, 70%. That go Democrat. It's a Democrat base of the state more than around here. So I think people, just as Democrats might say some things about us and some of our strength there is, Madison kind of ends up. But I will say this, the Dane County Party has been doing an excellent job there, and I think we will do better in Madison this time. And this is what the Democrats fear. So let's use that as an example. Where does Joe Biden have to go after his debate train wreck with a 22-point deficit in the enthusiasm gap? Does he go to some swing area of the state? Does he go to Green Bay or go out to Eau Claire or go out to La Crosse? No. He has to go find the softest pillow there is for a Democrat in this state to try to make sure that people are still behind him. He goes to Madison, Wisconsin. Now, I've managed a lot of races around there, partisan and nonpartisan, over the years. Republicans can do better in Madison, and I think they will. And it's also indicative, not just geographically with Madison, but look at where the Democrats are right now. They have troubles with their own base. They have an enthusiasm gap problem. They have a problem in the Hispanic community. They have a problem in the African American community. They have a problem with young voters. In demographic after geographic in this state, the Democrats are a party in disarray, and every single poll in this country shows it.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.